Hi, you're watching News, Booze, and Reviews with Tony and me, Chelsea. And this episode is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform for creating a fast and easy professional website and online portfolio. You can try it out for 14 days free by going to squarespace.com. And if you decide you like it, go to squarespace.com/Tony and use the coupon code PHOTONEWS.
Chelsea's going to be doing most of the talking today because I have a bit of a head cold, and what should everybody do if they have to talk for an hour? I talked for an hour already. I went on Jim Harmer's podcast, the Improved Photography podcast, and we spent an hour talking about just gear and Canon versus Nikon and DSLR versus mirrorless, and we all had a good time. So check out Jim Harmer's Improved Photography podcast. I guess I'll be on the next one.
Really?
I don't know when it's scheduled, but it'll be out there.
Wow, you too.
They should just subscribe and wait for it.
Fast friend. Okay, let's go.
Okay.
So today's photo theme is night photography. So submit your pictures now to stp.io/submit if you're watching live. If you're not watching live, you should watch live. You're missing out on a lot of stuff. Roll it. Popphoto.com named the D750 the camera of the year. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I guess. We didn't even bother to get one in because it just seemed like half D810, half D610. I felt like it's cool. It's a good camera. I recommend it, but
they think that it has excellent image quality. They like a lot of stuff about it. I put it up there. I feel like reading it.
It's a great camera.
It's a great camera.
It wasn't amazing. Like it wasn't shocking. It was a great camera. I guess the price point is pretty amazing.
Okay. Thanks for ruining my story. I'm so excited, and then you came here with your sick face, and you ruined it. Okay. Gary Mallon, I saw this story. They were covering his really cool pictures, and this reminded me of you, Tony, because you're all about the drones, and you really want to get into aerial photography, and this guy's doing it. So there's a quote by him. He says, "I'm not just going up to like get a shot and come back down. I'm going up to look and find something that from above feels like a piece of art." So you can go, I shared a few more of his pictures in the following slides if you want to show people.
Yeah, wow. I absolutely love these shots. I love the point of view. And sometimes the most compelling part of a picture is taking an angle or a perspective that's unique and different. And that's one of the reasons I love fisheye lenses and even super telephoto lenses, but also things like this Litro here. We see so many pictures, we all do, in magazines and such, that just mixing it up a little bit can not only spark your creativity, but make compelling images that really catch the eye.
These are really thought-provoking for me because this makes me feel like a little ant or something.
Yeah.
It makes me feel kind of gross. I'm like, that's what I look like this little tiny munchkin just all over the planet like that?
Yeah, these are really compelling pictures.
And that's one of his pictures too. And of course I had to share that because those are llamas, and the stunners know that's our mascot, and they are looking dapper as heck.
That is a cool shot. That must have been some work to set up.
Yeah, just
I don't know how you get big balloons on a llama.
You're like, hold still, llama. This isn't weird at all.
And by the way, you had to bring them on location and everything. Wow.
They're really well behaved.
Great shot.
So I stole our own stock photo from us because I couldn't find it.
It's got a watermark on it.
Yeah, but it's ours, so it's like nobody cares. This story is about rude tourists. Yeah, rude photography tourists. Japanese is banning photography from a lot of the temples because people go there to worship, they go there to contemplate, and then there are photographers all over just treating it like it's a live set. And this happens a lot. It's unfortunate that photographers get banned from places because a few people ruin it.
Yeah, I definitely had that issue in Japan. Everything is so beautiful, and it's so nice of them to allow us in so close to their temples where people are worshiping. But there were a couple of times when I found myself in the way of like monks and stuff, like people going about their work.
You have to remember that as a photographer, you're not the most important person there. You have to be respectful, stay quiet, and use your best judgment. If there are people praying, don't get in their face. I mean, sometimes you're so swept up in the moment of taking a picture that you can forget.
Yeah, and I get so obsessed with finding the right composition that sometimes I know, I just need to shift over to the left a little bit, but there's like a do not cross the line right there. You know I always cross the line.
Tony is always almost getting us in trouble.
Yeah, it's so hard to let the shot just go, but sometimes you just have to.
When I was stealing our own stock photos, I found this photo of you. I didn't even look to see what it was about, but this reminds me of like You know how you're in the grocery store line and they're trying to slam someone, so they just use the most unflattering picture possible
Every
on the
news
magazine
story
cover?
about Bill Cosby right
Yep,
now.
every news story, they did that to you. Don't trust Sony, Olympus, or Panasonic, says Tony Northrup. I don't know where it's from, but I just knew like you would never say that. We use Olympus, Sony, and Panasonic all the time. So I was like, this is ridiculous. And
Well,
you're like,
it was in the context of how they label lenses. And for the record, Nikon and Sony and Canon all do it too. I already said Sony.
I just thought that was funny. Oh, this was a New York Times article. Photographer Vlad Leto secretly photographs wedding proposals. He's not voyeuristic. He gets paid to do it. He charges like $250 depending on how difficult it is. And then he discreetly sneaks up on you so that he can get pictures of your bride-to-be when you pop the question.
I think this guy's going to be making some awkward moments when he's not working because people are going to recognize him and he's walking down the street with his big camera and there's going to be some girl like, oh, me? Yes, 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 yes.
That would be really uncomfortable. But I liked this story because someone was just asking me, can you really become a professional photographer? Is the market saturated? Yeah, it's pretty saturated, but use your creativity. It's like any business. You have to have a place in the market, and this guy found one. He's like a ninja. He dresses up in dark colors. He jumps over fences. He's not afraid to make things happen.
That seems super, super fun. I wonder if he gets them to like stand in a particular spot because, you know, he doesn't want something blocking his perspective. So he's got to like plan everything out ahead of time. That would be super fun. That's like strategic photography.
So on Twitter, we said that we would give away a signed Blu-ray. We have it right here to a random retweeter. So people retweeted our tweet. And then I just went in and randomly picked someone, and that person was Kyle. I have it there. I haven't even told him yet. You guys are actually the first to know.
Congrats, Kyle.
I thought that we'd just go on his Twitter and tell him and be like, Kyle. I guess not now. We can do it later if you want.
Speaking of, if anybody does Vine, Vine is super cool. If you're not, it's like an app that records 6-second videos, but does it in a really compelling way. You just kind of touch the screen to record a second of video.
Vine is cool.
So it forces you into this very tight storytelling. And it's just a lot of fun.
It's a good photography exercise, actually. Doing
Check out
that.
Vine, yeah.
Oh, I was going to also say we'll be giving away more stuff, I think, with that retweet format. So if you want to get in on that, you can follow me. Well, Tony's name is @TonyNorthrup. Mine is @ChelseaNorthrup, Northrup without the P. I'm not really special. I'm not privileged enough to have the P. So check me out. Have pity on me. Let's see.
What's in the cup?
Everyone's always asking us what we're drinking. So go to the next slide.
You're not going to tell them? Oh, it's in here already.
It's in here. Justin brought us some Midnight Moon apple pie moonshine. And I was like, if I drink a cup of that, things are not going to be pretty. So we mixed ours with Martinelli's sparkling cider. But I also wanted to recommend Martinelli's sparkling cider as a non-alcoholic option for our dry viewers that still like delicious beverages.
I'm having it with some like girly vanilla tea or something because of my cold.
Why is that girly?
It's not the most manly tea.
You know what? The most manly tea is the one you're drinking.
That's true. Anything I do is manly, just by definition.
Look at you. Look at you. It's being a man.
So you want to take a look at some pictures?
Yeah, let's see.
Okay. I'm sure people have already sent in pictures, but these are pictures that were sent in before the show. So
is this night photography?
Well, all the pictures we'll look at are going to be night photography, but these are pictures that were here before. So I thought we'd just look at thumbnails and see if anything caught our eye. So tell me if you see a thumbnail that pops. This thumbnail pops to me. Simple composition. They blurred the background to reduce the visual weight of distractions.
That barn.
Ah, another simple composition.
Wow.
And I like this picture
love
too.
That barn. Why'd you just fly on by that barn? Whoa. I love
like
this
it too.
picture.
Great mood, great use of clarity.
That man. No, go to the right.
This guy?
That's interesting, but that's not what I... What?
Which man are you talking?
Right
This
there.
guy? Oh, okay.
Oh, I like the thumbnail better.
Poor guy.
What?
Gets his photo reviewed, and that's what
I
we
like
get.
your photo. I just like
I like this
thumbnail.
one too. I like this kind of abstract work. Okay, so I'll import some new pictures. It's not too late to send your picture in at sdp.io/submit. Let's see what they have for us now. We should talk about the Lytro too. I don't know if you had a slide for it.
I don't.
Lytro sent us a camera that we're going to be reviewing, the Lytro Ilum. And it's $1,500 or
really?
$1,600, and it's the most exciting camera I've used in a couple of years. I'm really
Yeah.
excited about it. It
It's-
sounds like a terrible camera that you never want to pick up.
But
It's got
so cool.
like a tiny little like 3.6x crop sensor, and it's 4 megapixels, which isn't a modern camera, especially for $1,500.
Wait, how is it 4 megapixels? The pictures look incredible.
Well, that's the like final resolution if you were to render an image, but you don't just render an image. What you get are these images that can shift perspective and pull the focus after you take the picture. So the lens itself is fixed at f2, but when you get it on your computer, you can change it to anything up to f16. You can also move the focus through the frame after you take the picture on your computer.
I haven't actually processed any pictures yet, but I've taken a bunch. And the coolest thing is that there's a histogram for your focal length to tell you what's going to be in focus. So while you're taking the picture, if you want 3 different layers of things in focus, it has this histogram that makes everything in your picture light up that will be in focus. It's so cool.
Yeah, it tells you the stuff that's in front of the focal plane and behind the focal plane.
I love it.
Yeah, it's a really, really fun camera, and I think we're going to want to even integrate it into some of our videos.
Yeah, I really want to take the time to think of a really good shoot that would complement the camera's technology. So
I'm just going to, oh, that's night photography. I was just going to pull out, look at people being all good with their sticking to the night photography theme.
Wow.
Good on you, people.
Wow. I'm impressed.
First picture up here looks like a European street
night,
scene.
So you got that.
And it's not too late, or maybe the moon is just lighting up the sky, but we have a nice blue color in the sky, which is one of the things we look for. I hate it when it's just a jet black sky. So we're at, it's at ISO 400.
Okay.
So it's a little bit noisy, and looking at the histogram, I can see everything is on the left side. So I really like to see first using ISO 100.
Okay.
Especially because you're going to have so many deep shadows. But also shoot to the right. We cover this in Chapter 10 of Studying Digital Photography. Even if you, when you get back to your computer, end up dropping the visible brightness of it.
Shooting to the right, he might blow out the snow.
Yeah, well, you do have to watch that. I would want to make sure that the white of the snow was just clipping the right side of the histogram.
Yeah.
That's how I would pick the exposure, not based on auto exposure or anything else. We covered in Chapter 10, and it's a good way to do it. But great scene. I like it. The moon's not too small there.
Ooh, what's happening?
Beautiful starry night there.
What is that?
Just looks like the Milky Way to me.
No, there's a structure.
Oh, maybe like a watchtower, or
Oh.
I think it's a watchtower. But they thoughtfully composed it with symmetry, put it right in the middle and kind of offset it
I'd actually like to see the tower be more prominent in the scene. I think it's a part of the story.
Yeah, that could definitely work. I don't mind it as that, though. It's an unusual composition, but it does kind of move me.
Cool.
I'll say once again, watch that brightness. You know, night shots are often going to turn out this way, but night shots don't have to be dark. In fact, they usually should kind of look like daylight shots.
That is so sparkly.
Yeah, and, well, you don't have much choice. He shot it at 25 seconds, but he shot it at ISO 1600. And when you're doing stars, if you go over 30 seconds, they start to turn into lines, star trails. So you kind of have to shoot at whatever ISO you have to shoot at. But one thing you can do is get a faster lens. And Rokinon makes a nice series of manual lenses that are wide angle, like 24 millimeters, and wider, and they're f1.8. So that would give you 2 extra stops of light, 4 times more light. That would allow you to shoot at ISO 400. ISO 400, or you could shoot at ISO 600 and just get a much brighter picture. Either way, you'd have a much, much cleaner picture without all this noise. So here the lens will give you a cleaner picture.
It still looks really good, though.
Yeah, I love that shot. Great composition. I actually don't know if that's a night picture, but it could be.
It could be. It's interesting.
Yeah. I don't know why it's sideways. Is that deliberate?
I don't know. I can't explain. Well, that's nice.
Yeah, Christmas lights. I actually was planning to do a video this season on Christmas lights.
You were?
Yeah, because they're a real challenge, and I see people do them wrong all the time. They like take their point and shoot or their smartphone and just take a picture with the flash on.
With the flash.
And usually there's somebody standing in front of the Christmas lights, so they're super bright, and then you see like a little hint of the lights. But with Christmas lights, you want to get out there right at dusk, like as the sun is setting. There's still a little light in the sky.
Ambient light, yeah.
Because after it's completely down, there's going to be way too much contrast, and your camera won't be able to handle it. So you want a little ambient light to fill in the shadows and show you the buildings and put some light in the sky. This isn't too bad. The sky's pretty dark here, but I still see some light. We could probably raise the shadow some and
Looks
just
nice.
overall improve it. But I like it. It's so difficult with the white balance too, like these deep yellows here.
Yeah.
It's just something you kind of have to deal with.
I don't think that applies.
Okay.
This one works.
Yeah, 15 seconds. Nice.
I like that a lot.
I do too. Really thoughtful use of lines.
Yeah.
And it can take practice to start to see lines that movement will make in night photography, because of course he didn't see the lines with his eyes. He saw moving cars.
Right.
But he thought about it and knew, as a night photographer, you start to see the motion and things. You start to see time as a dimension that your camera can capture. And with a little practice, you can do that too. Great shot.
So I think that the focus of this picture are those two towers in the background.
Yeah, that's where
And
my eye goes
The
first.
path is kind of a leading line that leads us to that. I think to make it, and I like all of the ghost people. I think to make it more prominent, I might actually crop out some of the bottom left a bit to draw more attention to the people on the towers.
So there's a big anchor here, and I think the photographer intended that to be the focal point.
I didn't even see what that was.
Right, and this is a compositional application of visual weight, because this is so dark and there's not a lot of contrast between it. In the background. It disappears visually. You don't see it. But this is very bright. It's against a dark background, lots of contrast, and this ends up being the focal point. You can fix this. You could probably do it in Lightroom with an adjustment brush. You could also do it in Photoshop with some dodging and burning.
Bring up the shadows and the exposure so I can see. I want to see what's happening in here.
Oh yeah, look, there's plenty of details in the shadows. They're using a D600, which just has a ton of dynamic range.
Cool.
So yeah.
There we go.
A couple
That's
of adjustments. Yeah, we start to see this, and suddenly it's a much more compelling picture.
Yeah, I like that.
Nicely done.
Oh, this is the same person. Let's keep going.
One picture per person, please. Alpha 77.
What?
It's a very noisy picture, huh? It's underexposed too, and you can see from looking at the histogram how everything's crammed up against the left.
Yeah.
Causes us to lose a lot of detail, and it means it's going to just necessarily be really noisy.
In this picture, I actually wouldn't want to bring up the exposure because I think it would look really busy having all of the trees showing. Instead, I'd like, right underneath that street lamp, I'd like to add a man in a trench coat smoking.
You're right. It needs some sort of focal point because my eye doesn't
Menacingly.
rest anywhere.
Yeah.
Good suggestion. Oh, that's a gorgeous shot. You can get such beautiful colors at night. I have a feeling this photographer had to pull the white balance towards the blues, because even the night sky tends to be a little orangey based on, well, unless you live out in the middle of nowhere. But if you have city lights anywhere, it bounces off the sky, even if the city is 100 miles away.
That's a really peaceful scene.
It
makes
really
me miss
is.
summer.
I love it. The long exposure kind of makes the water turn into a fog. Nicely
You're so
done.
poetic tonight.
It's all the cold medicine that
I think
I'm
it's
on.
all the booze and cold medicine.
One of my favorite techniques is HDR at night. I almost always bracket my
I
shots
like
at night.
HDR at night too.
Yeah, if nothing else, it can help you reduce that great contrast between the brightness, and that's kind of what he's done here.
Can I?
Yeah, drive.
Oh, this is crazy. I think I would bring up the exposure a bit. Oh, wow.
I almost always end up raising the exposure on night
look
shots.
at that. Oh, dear. Look what I'm doing. I secretly want to be just like Bob Ross. Just going to make it a little less orange. That's a
Great
nice
shot.
picture.
Beautiful
I like
colors,
the
great
umbrellas
processing.
leading to the ball. What is the ball? Does anybody here know what the ball is?
It's clearly some sort of New Year's thing, right?
What?
Well, why am I saying that? It's got the Monopoly Man in there. I thought it was like
that's
a
Peter
baby.
Pan.
Oh. Yeah, but you don't know.
The
Peter Pan
Monopoly
celebrates
Man.
New Year's like everybody else. You don't know.
We don't know what's going on, but we like it.
And he did it with a T2i. I kind of love that because that's
Yeah.
like a $300 camera used, maybe less.
Yeah.
And you got a fantastic shot at it. Perfect settings, ISO 100. You just took as long as you needed, blended together
did it.
multiple exposures.
Oh, there's a story here. This is very cinematic, I think, Kevin.
Yeah, I think they've intentionally like changed the contrast. There's no blacks here, no whites.
No, it's
So
matte. It's got a very
yeah, you think because you could like
no,
increase the contrast, but you
no,
don't want
don't
that.
stop it.
Okay. Ah, fireworks.
Fireworks.
They're fun and
You did
difficult.
it. You did it.
You got it
Ta-da!
right. Nicely done.
This needs to be brought up. Let me do it.
Okay, you get it.
I like how. Oh, oh, that's really pretty. You know what? I see it's like. I'm gonna warm it up a little bit because I see that pink sky and it makes me think we got like a sunset thing going.
Can I just complain? Why does no modern camera allow you to go over 30 seconds in just shutter priority mode? The D810 actually has like a timer, but you have to go into the menus and stuff. Like, just let me move the main dial past 30.
It's a
How hard would that
conspiracy.
be?
A really weak one. Oh.
Not a night shot, sorry.
Oh yeah. Hey.
This also kind of suffers from being too late, like too much contrast. You can see the sky here is just completely black. Sometimes you can rescue it, but yeah, there's just no detail left in the sky. It'd be a little more compelling if this wasn't just black. But you got out there.
You did it.
I appreciate it. You took your
Cheers to you.
time. All the settings look good.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Oh, he's got a little baby. Oh, it's a little spider family. People are freaking out now. They always freak out when there's a spider on the screen, but it can't hurt you.
But it is.
A little bit of trivia. I don't mean to be an expert
This
on
isn't
this.
a night picture.
No, but it's cool.
Let's keep rolling.
Yeah.
That's my moon.
Moonshots are easier
So much
than
fun.
people realize because look, 1/45th of a second, you can take handheld moonshots even with a telephoto lens. The hardest part is getting it in focus. I find that when the moon isn't full, you get a lot more contrast because of its side lighting. I actually use this as an example of side lighting because it kind of makes these little shadows here. I'll often convert the images to black and white because there's not any color to speak of. So when you are in color, what you get is just noise. So you see like splotches of purple and green. It's not actually on the moon. The moon's pretty much just gray.
I thought that's what the moon looked like a kaleidoscope.
ISO 64, they must have been using a D810. Ah, little street night photography. I like that a lot.
Bring it up.
Oh, really? I was just about to say, I like the contrast here. I think it really works because it draws your eyes here.
I think you're
Look at
right.
those shadows
I
you
think
go
you're
over
right.
here.
Let's bring it down. You can double click.
Oh, right. Reset. I just put that up in a tips video today.
Yeah, come on.
That
Use
looks
your
like
tips.
the same
Use your
photographer, but I
tips.
like that shot too. Guessing these are all the same guy.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, that definitely has that sort of urban night, greenish orange tint.
I was going to say, I was going to bring it towards the blue a little.
Yeah, oh, I like that. The sky might not have been purplish, but to me that's much more compelling.
It's a beautiful eye.
Auto white balance often works well.
It does.
Yeah, you're never going to get it perfect because you have different light sources with different color temperatures, but I really like to go for a nice sky. Get a cool color in the sky, just let the rest play out.
Let the rest play out. This is a great picture.
Yeah, I like this.
This makes me feel young again.
It is a cool shot. We can see the beam from his flashlight because there's some humidity in the air that's kind of reflecting off of it and illuminating it. And it tells a story like almost man's quest for knowledge or...
Right, and I love that it's such a clean composition because otherwise I think it would be cluttered. So you just have the rock in the foreground, a person, and then a beautiful backdrop. It's really well done.
I actually can't believe that required ISO 4000. It must have been a really dark night, especially at f2.8, but you nailed the shot. Beautiful composition. Like he worked the lines of the Milky Way, making a nice X here.
He worked the Milky Way.
That's a model that can be difficult to direct. Frank Plurry, some architectural photography here. Very nice. Still a lot of contrast. I'd probably seek to raise the shadows a bit. What do you think?
You're good, Northrop.
Do we have other content to cover? Do you want to take a look at a portfolio?
No, I think maybe we had more slides though.
Oh, okay. I'll go back to the slides.
Chit chat.
Chit chat.
This is the part of the show where we entertain your ridiculous comments. Swollen Cranium says, Tony's a handsome dude. I'm 100% straight He-Man type, but I think I'd let him touch my tra-la-la. Comments?
I think maybe he should look up what straight means.
I thought it was a nice compliment.
But I appreciate the compliment.
And I like his little picture of a man kicking a woman.
It's not just any woman. It was a pregnant woman.
He's a charmer.
I do not condone kicking pregnant women in the belly.
I don't either. I would never, no. Oh, this guy told me I was saying Wakem. It's Wacom.
Yeah, I do hate that pronunciation.
Wacom.
Wacom.
Wacka, wacka,
I do
wacka.
not like the way your name sounds, but I will try to say
Wacom.
it correctly. Wacom.
Wacom. Thank you for telling me that, bike freak. No,
Look, if we pronounce something wrong, we just change it. We don't put up a fight or insist that we're right. What's this?
No, just kidding.
It's not that
I'm
bad. We
actually
make
glad that you
mistakes.
told me. There are other things that I'll probably still say Wakem.
Oh yeah, since we've been making YouTube videos, I've changed my pronunciation of about 24 words.
Yeah, me too.
People let you know when you mispronounce something.
Oh, I liked this comment. This guy has the plastic face of untrustworthiness. He was talking about you.
Yeah, I wouldn't think he'd call you this guy, but I don't like that they discriminate against us plastic face people.
Hey, is it your fault you had to get a plastic face? No.
No, it's enough of a burden, but just because I have a plastic face doesn't mean I'm untrustworthy.
I know, some people so privileged with their flesh faces.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Instant photo reviews again.
Okay. We'll go back into the photo reviews. Great night shot. I love the way the sun looks here. Do you think must be the moon? Yeah, that looks natural. I thought it was such a perfect starburst. I thought maybe it
really
was
is.
added in post.
Mm-hmm.
The aperture has like so many blades. What is it using? 11 to 16 millimeter f2.8. Fantastic shot. I love the lines here. It does look like it's been processed with HDR, or they brought the shadows up, and this is always a problem with tree branches. Like
Yeah.
I pretty much I would never use this type of processing with trees.
No.
Instead, I manually blend the pictures together and use like a
difficult.
graduated filter.
Yeah.
You just can't do it because just my eye immediately spotted like the haloing around here. You just have to do it
Sometimes I'll
manually.
blend it.
Yeah.
To just blend into exposures.
And
by
then,
hand.
yeah, like a big graduated filter across the whole thing.
Yeah.
Pretty much works. That's all you can do with trees. They're a pain. You just can't select them. Yeah, that's spooky. I bet it was the supermoon. Everybody gets out when it's the
Everyone
supermoon.
loves the supermoon.
Great job at capturing the moon, or at the mood of the moon.
The mood. Oh.
Now, here he put a focal point in, and then he kind of used the traffic to add some visual interest, some movement left to right, powerful horizontal
I
lines.
like where he was going with it. I think it's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm helping. I had an idea. Maybe I like the color version better.
I think I like color.
Yeah.
But I was thinking like you could make it crazy.
Why not? It's already a little bit surreal.
Yeah.
I love the split toning feature. I haven't used it too much, but I've been using it lately.
Sometimes I just lose my mind using it.
While Chelsea's doing that, if you want to learn Lightroom inside and out, it just so happens we have a book.
Oh, people told us we're not allowed to talk about that anymore.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Because you're not supposed to pay teachers. Teachers aren't supposed to ever be paid. We're supposed to just volunteer for this abuse and pay for a big studio out of pocket. These books are the only reason we can do this. It's how we pay the bills. This happens to be our job, and if it wasn't our job, we'd have to have another job, and then we wouldn't be able to do this. We'd be busy digging
That's how we
ditches or
pay
something.
Justin. You guys want Justin to die?
Yeah, the guy, he's skinny enough. Feed Justin. Buy a book.
That'll
12
be
hours
our
of video, 150 presets.
Our new T-shirt will be just say "Feed Justin" and have this adorable face. Okay, I don't feel like I did anything useful for your picture. I just got carried away. So you did a good job. Let's just keep going.
You didn't help.
I didn't help.
I feel like
I'm a big enough lady to admit when I am not helping. Okay.
this is also a little bit underexposed, and
Oh, I know just what to do.
that definitely helps. It's always better to get it in camera, even if you end up pulling the exposure down in post, because you'll reduce the noise. But the spot is great. Did you adjust the white balance already?
I'll just do it auto. Ooh.
That did not work out.
didn't.
But
My mistake.
yeah, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Great spot. It might fill the frame with the tower a little bit more. Maybe even like use the traffic that's here. Go for a longer shutter speed too. Maybe you didn't have a tripod, but you're at 1/25th of a second ISO 400. Get down to ISO 100. You work that histogram, make sure it's exposed to the right, as we described in the night photography chapter of stunning digital
Sometimes
photography.
if I don't have a tripod at night, I just put my camera on the ground and just prop it up.
I will do it handheld often, especially if my lens has image stabilization, but even if it doesn't, and I'll put it on continuous, and I'll put my elbows in here and hold it like this, and then I'll just hold the shutter down, click, 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 click. And I can get 1 second exposures like that. If I take 20 or 30 shots, I'll have one solid 1 second exposure. It works.
Yeah, you are good at that. I'm staying still, not my strong point. This is interesting.
I like this shot a lot. I found it really
I
compelling.
like the window.
Cool.
We're all saying cool.
Great shot. I sorry I didn't have any useful feedback for you.
Look at all those starbursts.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what to do.
This is
actually,
such a tough one because
yeah.
the white balance is perfect. But the building itself is way too yellow. So yeah, you could drop the saturation.
I think you could also just go with it.
Yeah, most people aren't as bothered by it as I am. But one thing you can do is kind of just lower the saturation of that particular channel. Like I just grab the oranges here and drag the saturation down a little bit. I feel like that gives me a little more natural color. I see a couple of spots of probably sensor dust up there. So clean those things out. No big deal. Otherwise, great shot. I love the little inclusion of the moon there.
Maybe we should put a little lens correction to straighten the spire.
Oh yeah, I think you probably would want that straightened out a little bit, especially since you noticed it. Let's see what this does. Oh, all right, that wasn't too bad. Sometimes it goes crazy and does terrible things to your picture, but that worked pretty well. The lens correction panel here is occasionally useful. I often end up going into Photoshop though. Nice shot. I know this is the same guy because I recognize the same spot of sensor dust up here.
Okay. Oh, he got ya.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's Bruges. We were just there.
Yeah, that's also the same guy with his Pentax.
I ate chocolate there.
That was got to be the most difficult city to photograph, and it was so frustrating being there.
Oh, because we were only there for the day, and there are just there are thousands of people.
Yes,
everywhere.
All the beautiful spots are covered with tourists.
I was trying to take a picture here, and it was all of the water just filled to the top with tourists.
Yeah, even the water, even if you get against a bridge, there's like
boats.
Multiple boats of just tourists, loud.
I guess we can't complain. We are loud tourists, but
you're right.
I don't
but
see
it was so beautiful and so frustrating. We kind of got away and wandered through some little back areas and got some good pictures out of it. But
you got yelled at by a cop for going down a one-way street the wrong way.
Oh, the streets are so confusing.
Yeah.
He just thought it was absolutely absurd, but there were just no markings that I could discern.
You. We should send him a Christmas card.
Yeah, I'll send him something. So the contrast here is a little low. I can see in the histogram nothing is touching the blacks. So I'll just drop those blacks down and get some more contrast in the sky, and maybe I'll even raise the exposure a little bit. I think that's the only problem with it. I mean, the palm trees have this kind of unnatural green cast, probably because there's some strange light here.
I like it. There's something.
It is a little bit surreal.
Mm-hmm.
I almost wanted to make the sky purple just to kind of complement the green a little bit.
Oh my goodness, you are so artsy. We need to get you all hopped up on cold meds and tea more often.
This is our same guy. He's trying out some light painting. Kind of made a heart with a single LED lamp. This is distinctly blurry. Yeah, and I don't know. I'm trying to decide if it's camera shake or just out of focus. I think it might be out of focus, but
it can be hard to focus at night. I get that.
It's so hard, yeah. Especially with an older camera like a T4i. That's one of the
Yeah.
big ways that they made improvements.
Mhm.
Often what I'll do is I'll use live view, and
Yeah.
I'll zoom
Zoom
in on
in.
the screen and then focus manually. And then if you use back button focus, you don't have to worry about the camera refocusing. But if you don't, switch the lens to manual focus. Excuse me.
This is the same person.
This might not have been, but
Ooh,
fireworks picture, good.
I
you
like
got
it. I like.
A night portrait.
Wow, he committed.
Yeah,
It's on the ground.
great shot. Beautiful light.
I like it
great
a lot.
pose. I like his outfit. Everything.
Something like it reminds me of an album cover.
Yeah, it does kind of.
Yeah.
You want to take a break? Maybe look at some comments?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do that.
We didn't think to bring out a separate computer, so I just have to look at them on the screen here. We have some questions.
You want mine?
Oh, no, that's okay. I got it. Chris Henry just got the 7D Mark II. Seems to be awesome, but does anybody know if there is a low battery life issue with it? I think he's talking about Jared Poland's review, because Jared Poland was talking about having battery problems. I think Jared Poland had battery problems because he was shooting a hockey game.
And it was
and
cold.
it's cold, and cold lowers the battery life. But it has the same battery as like the last 10 years of Canon bodies do. And we've had no problem with the 70 Mark II's batteries or any of that generation. So it seems fine, especially compared to a mirrorless camera. It lasts forever.
Yeah, I wonder, we would have to test that.
Do we use the Nik software plugin for Lightroom? I have used it, but I definitely don't use it on a regular basis.
No.
What's the best aperture to go for with night photography? Usually the lowest one that gives you the depth of field that you need.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the rule.
Yeah.
Anyway. The lowest one so you can get the lowest ISO and the shortest shutter speed. Is the sensor of the EM1 more prone to dust as it does not have an anti-alias filter? I don't know the
that.
relationship between anti-alias filters and dust. I don't know why there would be. Maybe the dust shows up better if you don't have the anti-alias filter, but you just clean the sensor when you get you see how many pictures we have that have dust on it. You just have to clean it. I want to buy a D800 with 60,000 actuations, but the owner is saying it has been cleaned but never serviced in 2 years. Don't know whether to buy it.
I don't want to advise. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know what you're paying. I will say I've never had a shutter fail on a camera,
Yeah.
and we put hundreds of thousands of pictures through. But some people have had shutters fail, so I don't know. How do you guys feel about TTL when learning? I just got my first TTL speed light, and I've been using manual speed lights until not. Is TTL cheating? No,
No, that's not cheating.
definitely not. Yeah, it can make life easier. So sometimes it can make life harder, but yeah, usually it's a good thing. We'll Chelsea call her mom if we try to pass one of our TNC pictures as our own during the review. Pass off one of, oh, yes.
Oh,
Yeah, we will immediately know.
I'll call your mom.
What do you use to clean your sensor? We use the Sensor Clear pen with a loop. They're not sponsors or
I
anything.
use maple syrup.
It's
It's
That's
sticky.
a great idea.
It's sticky, so it gets the dust off.
Yeah. But actually, Jim Harmer and on the podcast, they suggested something different, like little disposable pads.
Oh yeah.
But I don't remember, so listen to that podcast at the very end.
Jim Harmer is
Last
our
5
friend.
minutes. I guess I'll just keep reading comments.
Wait,
'cause
Tigar says Tony can see time as a dimension.
yeah, I'm like Dr. Manhattan.
It's the power
But with
flowing
clothes
from
on.
his vest of doom.
Oh God, I wore the vest again. I forgot. I was just cold down here earlier and put it on.
You know what's funny? I'm actually wearing Tony's shirt today, which is why it's so big, but nobody makes
thought that
fun of
shirt
your
looked familiar.
shirt when I wear it. So maybe you should let me wear your vest too. Can I have it?
He also asked if this is throat spray. No, you can't
Just
have
let
it.
me wear the vest.
This is Singer's Saving Grace Professional to Strength throat spray. And when I do lots of video recording, I always blow my voice out, but there's deadlines. And so I spray it, and what it does is it lets you keep ripping your throat apart but not feel it.
Well, you probably don't feel it because it tastes so horrible that that sensation is overtaking any pain receptors.
Yeah, and if you manage to spray it right, it comes out like a stream. And if you spray it right on the sore spot, it feels like you're drinking lava. It burns. But then the pain goes away.
I don't even know.
I have to use some today because I hurt my throat and I just talked for an hour.
I don't even know if that's FDA approved. We don't actually know what's in that bottle. Go mirrorless, Tony. My G6 goes to 66.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of cameras that goes to a minute, but let me do 5 minutes. bunch of money back.
Oh my gosh, did you hear this? I didn't know this. Eric, if you ask for your money back, Justin comes to your house, kicks your dog, and calls your children ugly. Justin, is that true?
That's true.
That's true.
But we'll give you your money back.
We'll
we
give it
promise.
to you.
We will kick your dog, though. Your kids are kind of ugly.
Got my copy of the Lightroom book, and with those signatures,
We can always be doctors writing prescriptions if the photography thing doesn't work out.
that's true. Our
I
signatures
think you
are
might need
really
a
ugly.
little more than just
Justin,
a bad
can you-
signature, but
Is that? No, you guys can't see that.
Yeah, you can see it like if you hold it where your eyes are.
I have the handwriting of a kindergartner, so
I will say if you got the book at the top of the stack, you totally lucked out because
Yeah.
by the time we got to the bottom of the stack, it was just my arm would be jelly.
it hurts. Whew. Wow.
Okay,
Well, we're having so much fun.
you want to talk a little bit about Squarespace?
Squarespace. Okay, so
This is a Squarespace hosted portfolio, in
Squarespace
fact.
makes really nice portfolios. They're easy to make. They're really easy to update. I do mine all the time. And they look great. And they're really affordable. Portfolios start at about $8 a month. That's like spare change. And you can get 10% off if you go to squarespace.com/Tony and use the coupon code.
Photo news.
Yes. All of that is true.
You've been using your Squarespace portfolio as a T-shirt store.
Well,
Because
yeah.
every site includes a store.
Because our site, SDP Community, the inventory, it just would not keep tracks.
Yeah, we have a terrible website.
It's horrible. So I use Squarespace, and I haven't had problems. I just sell the T-shirts there because their inventory is great, and the site makes your merchandise look great. I should probably sell pictures there, too.
And when somebody buys a T-shirt, it just shows up in our account. Like there's nothing fancy. You don't even have to transfer from PayPal. It just goes through magic and then into your bank account.
Through your magical vest and straight into our bank account.
Well, thank you, Squarespace. We actually absolutely love you. Squarespace 7 is now out. They just basically updated the user
Yeah.
interface. You don't have to pay anything extra. You don't have to download and update. They make improvements that
Oh.
are very thoroughly tested out. And like magic, your website just gets better.
Yeah. You know what I have to show you is that if you have a Squarespace portfolio, they have this logo design thing for free, and I played around with it so that I could make a video. It's really fun. It's really easy. You can make custom watermarks that look great, and you can make like business cards and stuff and T-shirts from it too.
Yeah, I
It's
think if
awesome.
you just want to make a logo and don't want to pay for Squarespace, go to squarespace.com/Tony, sign up for a free site for 14 days,
Yeah.
make your logo, download it, and then forget about your trial. You might like the site anyway,
I mean,
but it's a great tool just for making, it's the best tool for making logos, even though it's just built into a website.
I had a lot of fun. I did it for like 2 days. I just kept making more and more, but yeah.
Well, let's take a look at a Squarespace hosted site. This person also thought Squarespace would be a good
This
idea.
person sent this to us?
Lupe Helena. Yeah, I don't know.
Wow, that picture's beautiful of the girls, and are those twins? What, or is that a comp? Must be a comp.
I don't know.
It's beautiful.
I
Is
don't
it-
really know these people. But
These pictures are gorgeous.
yeah, I can't even imagine providing any feedback here. We usually tell people not to like put pictures of the same model together, but I think the sequence totally works here in
Yeah.
the way that you've laid it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks just great. Love the lighting here, the mix between like blue and yellow gels. They've like the front light here has a blue gel on it.
Yeah.
The back lights have orange gels on it, or
It's
maybe they did a white
beautiful.
balance thing. But it ended up looking fantastic. I love the motion in the hair. Just gorgeous shots. Beautiful. Look at that pose.
I love
Just
it.
so pristine.
Ooh, I like the lady with the apple top right.
Yeah, that shot immediately caught my eye too. Just a nice, clean, simple composition. Just a little bit of storytelling there. Wow, fantastic shots.
She has an apple and books.
Yeah, she's going to school.
Beautiful.
Um,
Well, I'm impressed, and I like your portfolio.
a lot of pictures, but they're all great.
They're
There's
all very stunning.
not too much. So that was just their fashion work. I wonder what the creative work is going to be like.
Wow.
Wow.
These are gorgeous.
Yeah, look at this shot.
Oh,
Fantastic mood.
where'd you get that bathing suit?
Wow, look at this.
That's beautiful.
Such great movement. I love all the powder in the air. Great makeup too. Perfect
Yeah,
pose.
I like that he turned it on its side. Makes it so much more abstract.
I think anybody at any skill level would be really proud of this work.
Yeah,
This is absolutely
they're
gorgeous.
beautiful.
I love this kind of
Oh, I love that.
just classic shot. You know, this takes work.
Yeah, he's so great at storytelling.
To find the bike is hard.
Mhm.
To get the right camera is hard. But then he found like an outfit that fit the model and did her makeup and hair in a
Yeah.
certain style. And then, of course, the posing and the composition. But then the processing to put a certain tone on the picture to match
the mood. Yeah.
There's a lot that goes into this picture.
I
This
want
is
to
not a
see who
snapshot.
this person is. Go to the about section.
Okay.
It's a woman.
Oh, I'm sorry, Lupe. I thought was a male name.
Women. I know.
But actually, I thought the pictures felt like they were taken by a woman.
What? Because they were so amazing.
don't
Ooh,
know, just
excellent work, Lupe. I really admire your work.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right. She does some Photoshop tutorials. Oh, she has some retouching examples too. Yeah, it's always amazing to see the before on some of these pictures.
Yeah.
You can make so much happen. Of course, the beginning, the first steps of processing is in Lightroom. We happen to have a book, sdp.io/lr, if you want to check it out. Oh yeah, look how much that picture changed just from the processing.
Wow.
It's funny because this might not even catch your eye, but with a little processing, it makes
Yeah.
all the difference. Fantastic shots.
Beautiful.
Yeah, great, great shots. I don't know what La de las photos, so just of the photos or about the photos. Okay, let's see what Lupe had to say about Squarespace. I just scrolled away from it. Squarespace has been the best service I've used for hosting. Their customer care is top class, 100%, always
Yeah.
waiting to hear your concerns.
They're really good.
Awesome templates and easy to use interface. Finally, I can build a website that truly represents my photos in the way I want others to see them. As a wedding photographer, that is major. Thanks for the awesome books. That was not the right website.
That was Marvin.
Well, we'll have to look at their website too.
Where's Lupe?
Lupe says she loves the show. Thank you. I'm a super nerd about everything, but somehow I've never been able to figure out web design and never had a proper website before this one. And then I found Squarespace, which ended up being the answer. It took me just a few hours to see the whole thing set up. And I love how modern looking and easy to edit it is. I would 100% recommend this to any photographer or artist. I'm really proud of my portfolio, but I'd like your nitpicky insight into what I can do to make it better. Kisses from Buenos Aires. I don't even know that we had any suggestions for Lupe. I
your
feel
pictures
bad.
were so beautiful and your portfolio looked great.
Yeah, what can I
I think
say?
you're doing everything right.
Yeah. I already read Mackenzie's quote, so I feel like we should look at Mackenzie's
Okay.
portfolio. Strategist. First, I kind of want to feel out what their goal is with the site.
Can we go to about first?
Yeah, I think that's a good thing to do. Okay, what's going on here? Come on, Chrome.
I suspected that it was another amazing woman. This is Amazing Woman Day. Okay, let's see. I like that set.
I actually feel like what's missing, that's a really cute picture, is processing. I feel like Mackenzie has the raw images there.
Mhm.
They just need the little bit of pop that really largely comes from post-processing.
I love that picture.
Like this shot, it could have a fantastic shot in it, but the shadows are so dark on her face. With a little processing, you could bring that out. We want these whites to be nice and bright, almost perfectly white. That's a really nice shot, yeah. And with this picture, like I feel like the lighting, it's all just kind of flat.
Yeah.
And maybe a little even underexposed even. But a lot of that could be fixed in processing.
It's really nice still. And I also would like to add that I find it refreshing that it's not really over-processed because I see so many pictures now that are just processed so much. It's almost like sickeningly sweet. It's too much of a good thing.
Yeah, it could also be that we're coming off of Lupe's portfolio, which was kind of heavily processed.
Yeah, but
and
I wouldn't
very
say
glam.
overly processed. I wasn't trying to say that.
No,
really
and I don't
like
mean that
Lupe's
either.
work.
But it was a little bit glamorous.
Yeah,
And these are more kind of candid and
Yeah.
down to earth and
I like
and
her
natural.
style. I like her natural style.
Yeah.
If I see one more solar flare, God help me. They look good a lot. Don't get me wrong, but it's like once you know how something's done, it's kind of ruined. Did that ever happen to you? You see a technique that you like and then you learn it and then you all you can see when you look at it from then on out is the technique. You can't even appreciate it anymore.
Oh yeah, I try to watch any J.J. Abrams movie and I'm just screaming at the screen because he just puts a fake solar flare when there's not even a sun out.
It's like
They'll be
me.
in like a spaceship and like,
That happened to me with music. I used to love like Chopin, and then I'd learn a song and I'd be like, I can never listen to this song again.
just because it was so easy. You thought it
No,
wasn't
not because it was
exciting
so
anymore?
easy. You just dissect it and then you can't appreciate it anymore. It's like
Yeah,
how
sometimes
somebody
you do
else's
get too
cooking
deep
always
in.
tastes better. Yeah. Anyway, speaking of
Um,
tortilla.
the foreground here is just underexposed.
Yeah, it's very dark.
Yeah. So
It's
just
mystery food.
watch the exposure. It's okay to blow out the background,
Still
but
wanna
sometimes
eat
you
it.
also want to manipulate the lighting a little bit. Maybe cast the background in shadow and raise the overall exposure. Just add some light here.
Okay.
Just a suggestion I wanted to make.
I like
but,
that track. Oh, look at the dog.
He's a cutie, huh? Hound
Mackenzie.
dog.
Does he have a rack
Looks like
of
he just-
ribs?
It looks like I assume he took down like
Did
a
he
buffalo.
just rip apart a cow?
Yeah.
He looks so innocent, but I know what he's been up to.
Yeah. And he's looking at you next.
I like her style. She loves like gritty, kind of rustic things.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I wish that Mackenzie and Lupe and me could all go to lunch, be friends, BFFs.
Well, there's Mackenzie. Thanks for sending in your portfolio. I think it's looking great. I like your portfolio and the number of pictures in it, the layout, everything looks
Yeah.
great. I would just work on some post-processing. I think that's the next step of development for you. Your photography's looking great.
Yeah.
Do we have more slides or?
No.
Okay.
Wait. Maybe?
Nope, I think that's it. We were just
No.
gonna maybe plug the Lightroom book one
We
more
already
time.
did that.
Well, let's see what time it is.
I'll tell you.
Okay, you tell me what time it is. I'll start looking at some cat pictures. That's not a night photo.
It's 5:54. We have a few more minutes.
Okay.
That's a cool picture. I like the neon leg.
That's where my eye went first, just because it's bright and in a high contrast area, so it's got a lot of visual weight.
Mhm.
Feels like street photography. It's a cool shot.
I think they liked all of the bursts of light.
Yeah, and there is a cool symmetry here
Mhm.
with the traffic. Yeah, I think this one is just about the light. I might even try to increase the contrast a little bit and just make it a little clearer. Maybe make it less about the orange. So this, I think, is kind of an abstract shot about
Mhm.
lines.
Yeah.
I like it, though. Again, I find myself distracted by the heavy orange tint, which kind of isn't what your eye would see. But you could even pull it down a little bit. This one might even make it, what do you want, more contrast to it? That's my suggestion. Wow. So cool. Cloud to cloud lightning. I love this shot. Fantastic. I love the color in it. I'm just bringing up the shadows a little bit so we see a little more texture in those
Cool.
clouds.
Yeah, I like it.
Fantastic. Thanks for going out, braving the storm.
You are brave. What is this man made of?
Dimes. Definitely not a night shot. If it was, that'd
Hey.
be pretty amazing.
That's cool. I love those lines. I like the Dutch tilt. You did it. I like it.
Is this the same guy?
Oh. Why'd we assume that?
It is another T2I. Maybe it's the same guy.
Oh.
Oh, he's a cutie. It's not a night shot, but he's
Oh, yeah.
cute.
You almost got me. I would want that big spire and focus, and I just don't think it is. Is it?
I'm not sure. I think the whole shot is a little bit unsharp, which can sometimes happen if the tripod just wiggles just a tiny bit. Maybe they're on a bridge that moves just a little bit.
But it's still a good composition.
It is, and it's a beautiful scene. It's also underexposed a little bit. So you want to fill up that histogram, even if it makes the picture as bright as day. You can always make it darker. You were at ISO 100, but it's still life. So you could do a 2-minute, 4-minute exposure. I'll often do a 4-minute exposure. Great shot.
We should go back to that spot and bring your tripod.
Yeah, it would also be a good time to bracket. Sometimes at night I'll do like 30 seconds, 2 minutes, and 8 minutes. And blend those pictures
it's
together
25
as needed.
seconds. I didn't realize it was that long.
Yeah, it was pretty long, but
Yeah.
it can go longer. As I feel, it is a cool shot. My favorite fireworks shots have the environment in them, and some other contexts that aren't just the fireworks. So you did a great job at that. Found a good spot with it. Nicely done. I'm just going to pull the white balance down a little bit.
Whoa, that's not a night shot.
No, but it's cool. Wow. What a great mood on this shot.
It's so dark, I can't see anything.
Yeah, I hesitate to bring it up, but it kind of depends on your viewing angle.
Yeah, I think there's a big glare on the screen for me.
But I did think it got better as we brightened it the way we're looking at it now.
Yeah, it's
sometimes if
really,
you're making a print, you can control that a little bit better.
it's a really beautiful shot.
You have some sensor dust up here, and there's distinct haloing going on, as well as some chromatic aberration. So Lightroom does can help you fix chromatic aberration down here in the lens corrections panel.
How's that work?
That definitely helped.
Let me see.
Before, after.
Oh,
if you look at the green and magenta here, it definitely got better.
I've had problems with chromatic aberration a lot in night photos.
Yeah. So I had to crank it up a little bit more to get some more of it out. But there's still a distinct haloing, and it could be that they I raised the shadows, actually. So maybe it was my fault.
Oh, Tony.
But I love the mood. I also, if you had somebody
fog.
standing here, that could be a great story, great scene. So here we have an urban city scene, but my eye doesn't fall anywhere. I feel like it needs a focal point of some kind. Maybe a boat going through. Find a great spot like that and then hang out. Kind of wait for something to happen. You might be there half an hour, but something will happen.
Terrifying. Let's change the lighting a little. Let's cool it down. That is just so creepy. I just want to blow it out a little bit.
Yeah.
I like it. It's very, very spooky.
I didn't put my own presets on here, but I actually have some scary mood presets.
You do?
Yeah, and one of the things you can kind of do is shift the whole thing towards orange. Let's see. Orange and red. Now it's making it pink. This is why I have presets. And maybe up the grain a bit. Let's go down to here.
Where is this? What's the story?
I don't know, but let's do the old before and after.
We should put that in Madeline's room. Never sleep again.
Great shot. Oh, I was just talking with the boys, Jim Harmer, about night photography for football games, and it's got to be the hardest type of photography because you need a fast shutter speed, a telephoto lens, and it's under light, so it's very, very dark. So you just have to use a high ISO. They used ISO 1600 at about the slowest shutter speeds, perfect settings. And
it's a great
Canon
picture.
7D, I know the full-size picture would be noisy, but it's properly exposed, turned out great.
I guess it technically was at night.
Yeah, it's not a traditional night shot, but I feel like that counts. Another great shot of fireworks that includes something.
Yeah.
So much more compelling than just a close-up tight shot of the fireworks. Sometimes you can improve it by pulling the shadows up some just to reduce the contrast. I would tell you to go out earlier in the day, but of course you're there whenever the fireworks are there, so you really don't get that
I really like,
bit of control.
I love the building in the foreground because it balances the photo.
Yeah. The balance here is really good. Okay. Here we have star trails, which is very cool.
And it's an old antenna.
And it's blended from multiple exposures using the star stacking technique that we discussed in chapter 10 of Stunning Digital Photography. But they're using some sort of timer that had a delay between each shot. So instead of seeing nice smooth lines, we see dots. The technique I recommend in the book is to get a remote shutter release and just lock the shutter open as if you're just holding the button down.
Right.
And put your camera on 30 seconds and just continue shooting. So the amount of time between shots is nil. Those cost you 10 to 15 bucks. They don't cost much at all.
They're easy to use too.
And it'll get rid of those dots. But nice work getting out there. I know it took some patience. You have the whole process down. The next time will be a breeze. Wow.
Wow.
That is such a cool location.
It's really cool.
Yeah, what a powerful scene. I've never seen that before, but I absolutely love it. Beautiful sky that you got out of it.
Really
love,
beautiful picture.
Look what the long exposure does to the water.
Mhm.
It just makes it all kind of foggy and silky smooth.
The colors are beautiful. The exposure's perfect.
Yeah, great
The
job.
composition, excellent. Love it. It's nice.
Uh,
There are boats in front. I
this,
can't see them.
no.
Let me raise the exposure a little.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, but then it blows out the city.
This is one of those scenes where there's just too much contrast, so we're losing lots of important detail.
I love the panorama, though. That's very cool.
Yeah, it is kind of cool. And let's see, D750. So it's just taken with kind of a super wide angle lens.
Mhm.
But yeah, you might raise the shadow some to pull it out or go out a little bit earlier, but a cool shot, great angle.
Wow, this is really beautiful. I love the composition because the leading lines just lead you up into the right corner.
Yeah, and I love the silvery tones.
Mm-hmm.
So much detail and texture in the sky.
Yeah,
Fantastic shot.
it's really beautiful.
Yeah, really beautiful. Worthy of a print. Definitely worthy of a big print.
Very print worthy.
Oh, my voice is about to give out.
Well,
So either you have to talk or we have to...
our time is up.
Okay. Well, thank you to our sponsor, Squarespace.
Thank you.
They make all this possible.
Well, and you guys make it all possible.
Yeah, tell your friends, help
Yeah.
us out, share this, and
Tell your mom.
join us. And we're here every Thursday at 5 o'clock. So we will see you next week. And don't forget to subscribe. Check out our books, sdp.io/store. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks.